2020. Women got a big victory. We're going to talk to Jason Martin at halftime of this men's game. But how about it, BMAC? It's a chance right here for St. Mary's to get back after it. Played their best defensive game of the season on Thursday. Offensively, had one of their worst games. Obviously, you got to find a nice happy medium between the two, but they know they got a pretty good team ahead of them here in Oklahoma Christian.
You mentioned it, St. Mary's finding their rhythm defensively in that game against Fort Smith on Thursday, holding the Lions to without a field goal the final 5 minutes of that ball game, almost completing the comeback. The Rattlers will look to steer the ship correctly here this afternoon.
Yeah, certainly is a big opportunity for them as they take on an Oklahoma Christian team that's not well known for their offense, but they've got a lot of guys, folks, that can play. We see Kendra Talley, who is now the head coach, the interim guy that's taking over for this team. They're 3-7, BMAC, but they have been in every single game this season, and you look at it, 6 of those games have been decided by 10 points or less.
Oklahoma Christian, a very dangerous squad indeed. Not known for their offense, you mentioned, scoring under 70 points per contest, and they're going up against a St. Mary's team that likes to score. It'll be an interesting matchup to see as these teams will look for their first victory here in 2020.
On the other side, St. Mary's got a chance to catch up with Coach Z. We're going to talk to him on the other side of our timeout. St. Mary's, Oklahoma Christian men's game on the way next here on the Lone Star Conference Network. Welcome back in between games here between St. Mary's and Oklahoma Christian. We get a chance to catch up with Coach Z now and talk about the men's side of things. And Coach, I know, defensively, great game for you guys. I thought on Thursday played very well there. Offense hopefully comes along from that here today, but yesterday I'm sure an eventful day for your group.
Well, I think that I thought we made some strides. I told them that during the game. I told them it at halftime. Told them after the game that some of the things that we had seen in practice, I thought carried over to the game. I thought our ball movement was better. We worked for each other. I thought we played unselfishly. We rebounded better. We defended better. Really every aspect of the game, I was not disappointed other than the outcome. We just, we didn't shoot the ball like we're capable of shooting the ball, but we took care of the basketball better. We only had 9 turnovers, and several of those were kind of in the post area right there, but still, not 9 turnovers for a game is pretty good. You're taking care of the basketball, and like I said, we had 20 offensive rebounds. I thought we went aggressively after the ball on the boards, especially in the second half and stuff, because we were down by 3 or 4 at halftime, and I think we ended up being up 6 and stuff. So, I was pleased overall with our rebounding. I thought we defended fairly well for the better majority of the game and stuff. There's a couple 50-50 balls there the last 2 or 3 minutes that just kind of bounced their way. They end up getting them and stuff, which obviously in a 2-point game ends up being being big plays and stuff. But quite honestly, overall, I told them, I said, other than the outcome and stuff, I wasn't disappointed at all. I thought we got better as a team and stuff. On Thursday, we just didn't get the desired outcome.
Well, now, like you said, it's duplicating that same effort defensively and trying to get that offense going. I thought guys, again, like you said, had off days, and sometimes that just happens.
Well, I think our ball movement and our screening created a lot of open opportunity. When guys are adjusting the ball in their hands and getting ready for a 3, you've created some pretty good movement. The ball just didn't go in the basket, but I thought the ball movement created a bunch of opportunities for our guys, and so to say I was disappointed offensively, I was disappointed that we didn't shoot the ball better, but I wasn't disappointed in how we moved the ball and how unselfish we were offensively.
Talk about the challenge today. You got a really good defensive team in Oklahoma Christian. Played well against St. Ed's, certainly for about 25 minutes.
Yeah, they just had one really bad stretch in there at the St. Ed's game and stuff. It looks like that, where they turned the ball over and St. Ed's went on a run, and that was kind of the difference in the ball game there for them. But they've played a lot of people close. They play a lot of zones, so you're going to have to shoot the ball pretty well against them. But I think it's like I told our guys, it's another game that to grow from and to continue to get better, and the areas that we got better in. I think if we continue to grow there and stuff, our guys are going to shoot the ball better and stuff. That's just we got a group of guys that do shoot the ball well, just didn't shoot the ball very well the other night and stuff. And you hope you get better, but those nights that you don't shoot the ball well, if you take care of the basketball and you defend people and you rebound, you're going to have yourself in a position to still win the game and stuff. And I thought that was one of the major steps forward for us on Thursday was that we didn't shoot the ball well, but we rebounded the ball better, we defended the ball, we defended better, we took care of the basketball and stuff, and all of a sudden we're in a position at the end of the game to have a chance to win it.
There you go. Coach, appreciate the time, Coach. Good luck today, okay?
Okay, thanks, Andy.
Coach Zelznick joining us here on our pregame show. We'll take a break. More coming up next from Bill Greehey Arena on the Lone Star Conference.
And we welcome you to Bill Greehey Arena in San Antonio. Glad to have you with us this afternoon for the second game of 2020 between these two teams, the Oklahoma Christian Eagles visiting from Edmond, Oklahoma, and the Rattlers of St. Mary's. St. Mary's is 6-6, 2-4 in conference play. Oklahoma Christian 3-7, 2-4 in action. By way of Brandeis High School, played a couple of years at UTEP. Marquis Houston had a big game on Thursday. Is out there along with Matei Gaspard, 6'11", 235 pounds, averaging 8 points and 5 rebounds. Played well Thursday as well. Lamont Traylor, the Las Vegas product, will also start at forward, 7 points a game and 5 rebounds. The coaches, Jim Selznick, in his 15th year with 224 wins, takes on the interim coach, Kendra Talley, in his first year, 3-7. Overall. Ready to go for our opening tip. Oklahoma Christian will wear the black jerseys here tonight. St. Mary's in the gold.
Well, Brian, you look at it for the Rattlers in this basketball game. They're 2-2 on this home floor. Had their best defensive game. Coach Z talked about they checked every box on Thursday except winning it. What do you look to them having to try to come out with a good start after here today?
You said it right there. A good start. The Rattlers struggled out of the gates early on and were having to play from behind for most of the game on Thursday. Look for them to get out to a better start, carry that defensive momentum, and hopefully get off to a better start and play from the lead.
Well, we talk about it again. You can't have your best defensive game, but your worst shooting game. Those just don't coincide together. Marquis Houston trying for the ball fake, finds it down low. It works its way back out to Marquis. Rougher possession, and right now, as you can see it real easily, use that ball fake from Bubba Meyer, assistant on the bench. Caleb Jordan's got it, 4 to shoot. Out to Marquis, hand in his face with 3. Shot is up, and it's good from downtown. Marquis connects on his 32nd 3 of the year.
Marquis able to create some space with the shot clock winding down, putting the first points on the board.
Oklahoma Christian averaging 61 points a game. They give up 67. That is top 35 in the country. And you know, how often do we talk about defense? That's so big right now. You got to be able to have that ability. Oklahoma Christian, they like to slow it down. They played really, really well on Thursday, losing at St. Ed's, but they were up at halftime. Not many teams have said that.
St. Ed's, a quality opponent. Oklahoma Christian looking to carry that over.
Farmer Jr.'s shot won't go. Offensive rebound. Returning player Will Lenhart, former OSU Cowboy. And how about the answer? Aubrey Johnson from downtown hits his 28-3, and we're tied in 3 here in the game's first 80 seconds.
Second chance opportunities may very well decide this ball game. Oklahoma Christian, an opportunity there on their first possession.
Marquis Houston around to Lamont Taylor. That's a poor pass and nearly turned over. Aubrey Johnson, good rotation on that defense. And, you know, we talked about it with Coach Z and Bubba Meyer ahead of this game. You're going to see a lot of zone today. Guys got to be patient, knowing that people are going to be jumping in your face all game.
Absolutely. The Rattlers are going to have to take the best opportunities and not necessarily rush to go for that first scoring opportunity.
St. Mary's, as we talked about, second fewest points, had a lot of things offensively not go well on Thursday night, but they did a lot of good. I thought they were unselfish. Coach Z agreed. Felt pretty good about that. We'll see how they handle it as the ball drops off to the right side. A little bit of Blackwell pulling up from 20, missed the shot. Tipping underneath is good. Palmer Jr. scores, and you see why he's such an accurate.
Absolutely able to get some positioning down low and tip it home for 2.
2 minutes into this first half, Rattlers hosting Oklahoma Christian, 14th meeting all time. Rattlers the edge, 9 wins to 4 losses. Houston in front of the Oklahoma Christian bench fires a deep three, no good. Traylor had the ball ripped away, could not land on his feet. Instead, Aubrey Johnson has it back. Oklahoma Christian has a couple guys that are returning starters, but transfers. That's kind of typical of a first-year interim coach. And Kender Talley played basketball at Oklahoma Christian. He is an alum. But tell you what, he's got a guy down there at the end of the bench who you can ask a lot of things for as Houston takes over. And the man I'm talking about, Dan Hayes, longtime coach there. He's a Hall of Famer. As he got a chance to visit with him before the game, he said, it's nice, I'm not really in control, but these guys played for me. All 3 coaches that are in charge played for Coach Hayes. As that 3 won't go, Gasper with the rebound, but a foul over the back. It'll be a turnover. Oklahoma Christian will have the ball.
Coach Hayes, very well respected during his final full season. Right here, Coach Zelznak paying homage to him. Pre-game ceremony in his last season here at Bill Greehey Arena. Very well respected amongst all his peers, and really great to see him back on the bench with the Eagles.
Yeah, he's having a lot more fun. He's wearing about the same things. I said, Coach, how are you doing on those bus rides? He's like, I'm okay. He doesn't mind it. This was, 10-hour journey, not too bad out to Austin. And then, Austin to San Antonio, that's no problem. Oklahoma Christian with the basketball substitutions into the game. Kirtland Wesley, his first minutes of the day for St. Mary's as Lamont Traylor will sit down. So that's size for size. We're 3 minutes in, 5-3, Oklahoma Christian. Corner right, the San Antonio product, Reyes Valdez drives, loses the basketball, and it's a kick. So they'll get it back to 20 on the shot clock. But that's another player, and Reyes Valdez, who comes back to San Antonio, gets a chance to come home for him, and it's that kind of resort for him today.
Reyes Valdez coming off his best game against St. Edwards.
Yeah, he played well. Aubrey Johnson hits another 3, and it's an 8-3 start. And again, you talked about it, B-Mac, at the beginning of this one. It's so important for St. Mary's. You can't dig that double-digit hole here early on. Sometimes teams start hot. You have to find a way to respond, whether it's offense or defense.
Absolutely. St. Mary's still trying to get into rhythm, almost as if they're trying to just find something good offensively, or just rather lacking the patience, as you mentioned.
Wesley is called for a travel. Kirtland really didn't agree with that one. I thought Kirtland played really well on Thursday, did some good things in that basketball game, but that becomes a giveaway. Coach Meyer and Coach Z over there looking up at the scoreboard. I don't think they agreed either. I tell you, it's been funny because, you're around this game long enough. Not only do you know other coaches really well, you know the officials really well. Travis Model, Kevin Joseph, Eric Cronbush today. I mean, Eric and Travis have done this a long time. Kevin's been around a long time as well. I've known all 3 of those guys for my time before I came to Texas. So, it becomes a very interesting fraternity. And we get a jump ball call as Wesley ties up the rock. It'll stay with Oklahoma Christian.
Excellent defense there by Wesley. Active hands forcing that jump ball, and next jump ball, the Rattlers will get possession.
9 on the shot clock. Inbounds comes in left side. Caleb Jordan on the ball of Aubrey Johnson. Turnaround 2 is up, too strong. Rebound tipped. Gaspert doesn't grab it. Ball goes out of bounds, though, as Parmer Jr., the last man to touch it. First media timeout of half number 1. It's 8-3. Oklahoma Christian leading it. St. Mary's 1 of 5 to begin this game. We'll take a timeout. You're listening to Rattler Basketball on the Lone Star Conference Network.
A strong tradition of academic excellence, a commitment to community, and a success, the Lone Star Conference has long been known as a leader in intercollegiate athletics. Now with 19 institutions that embody the best in college sports, the Lone Star Conference is the largest and most dynamic conference in NCAA Division II. 19 members strong, 19 members proud. This is the new Lone Star Conference.
To play. We're in the first half. St. Mary's hosting Oklahoma Christian. B-Mac, Andrew Stossmeister here today. Glad to have you with us from Buddy and Anna Meyer Court Rattlers come out of the first media timeout. A little sluggish, BMAC, 1 of 5, but you look at Oklahoma Christian, they're 3 of 7, but 2 threes.
Rattlers off to another sluggish start, not necessarily what they wanted to do, but again, this team more than capable of turning it on when they need to later in the ball game.
Energy's so big at this point as that pass is a little bit wide. Kirtland Wesley, turnover number 2 on St. Mary's. But, you go back and kind of run up and down the ladder a little bit. St. Mary's had great energy on Thursday. They played their best defensive game, but sometimes it's hard to get guys to buy into that when you don't win. Coach Z hopeful that can carry over here tonight. Oklahoma Christian with it right now. Aubrey Johnson, good start for him. He's got 6. It's 5 on the shot clock. Foul away from the ball as Gaspert was down there, but they'll get Kirtland on the opposite side of the box for that foul. That's going to be his first, and now Emmanuel Awuzie, the native of San Antonio, comes in, getting a chance for him. He did not play a lot on Thursday. It was a little bit surprising for a guy that we've seen start 3 times this year and get significant playing time.
Indeed, it'll be interesting to see how he comes out coming into this ball game off the bench.
Farmer Jr. inside the lane, turns and scores. 10-3 start for the visitors out of Edmond, Oklahoma, on the north side of town. Small campus, but Oklahoma Christian has done so many good things. I mean, their men's basketball programs had success. Large part to the guy that's sitting in chair number 1, no longer doing much of the coaching. In fact, he jokes and says, all I do now is hold the clipboard. Pretty darn funny. Caleb Jordan with it. Skips it out. Kobe McGee, hook around. Over to Marquis. Down the lane. Marquis Houston leads in with his left hand. Lots of contact. Shot is up and it's good. Houston's got to get going for this offense for St. Mary's.
Excellent move by Houston, not settling for the jumper and attacking the rim, able to absorb the contact and lay it in for 2.
Everybody knows what he can do from behind the arc. It's what does he do inside of 20 feet? That's where he can be real talented and allow some separation underneath. Reyes Valdez, hard to the cup, drops it off to the 6'8" Will Lenhart. And he's played so much basketball. He's a big dude to try to guard, and he's still trying to get back on his feet. Honestly, he's only played in 7 games this season and has been hurt in some of those games that he has played as we get an offensive foul called against St. Mary's.
Unfortunate development for St. Mary's on that play. They were moving the ball around pretty well on that possession, but an offensive foul negates any scoring opportunity they may have had, and the Eagles get the ball back.
Kirtland's going to have to go out because of that, so his time limited. He'll head to the bench with 3 minutes and 2 fouls. Oklahoma Christian will push it. Reyes Valdez, good speed, 5'11" guard. He's again another transfer in. Anthony Johnson, another player that transferred. Going to see him at some point here today on the bench right now.
That matchup between Reyes Valdez and Kobe McGee is certainly one to be on the lookout for, as Reyes Valdez loses the ball.
He lost the ball and then he kicked it, and they're going to give it back. Actually, Travis Moto looks at his directions. He's like, no. Ball comes on back. I tell you, it's always funny. Caleb Jordan, I thought, was going to get on top of Travis over there. Sometimes, and come on, gotta give these guys slack. We're always talking about the basketball players, and it's like you give them slack. You got to give the officials some slack. They're fine. These guys know what they're doing. Let it be and move on with things. 13.5 to play. We're in the first half. Rattlers are down 12-5 after getting the first bucket of the game. Houston, 3-pointer right side, too strong. Offensive board. Emmanuel Awuzie's got it back. Now Caleb Jordan attacking half-court left, steps inside the left arc for 2, won't go. Another board by Awuzie. This time McGee's open. Kobe fires and finally hits it on the second offensive rebound to bring it back to a 4-point game.
Emmanuel deserves the assist and then some on that possession right there, keeping the play alive for St. Mary's with multiple offensive boards, and the Rattlers get rewarded with a 3 from McGee.
If you're St. Mary's, you want to see Kobe play better. He didn't have his best game on Thursday. He's such a talent. He knows the ability is there. I mean, plain and simple, it is. He's got it. He's just got to find a way to keep having that every game. And I just kind of seeing him after Thursday, he had a chance to make a play, did not as that game expires. That 3 is off from Reyes Valdez, rebounded by St. Mary's. McGee's got it again. Kobe, nice fake to his right, comes back to Houston, trailing the play. fires a three, left it short, and that ball is over the backboard, and it'll go back to Oklahoma Christian. But you go back to that play for St. Mary's. A couple of good moves there from McGee where you can see that nobody can stop him easily by getting in front.
Especially when he's out on the open floor. That's when he's most dangerous. I would have liked to see him take it to the basket instead of kicking it out, and the Rattlers unable to come away with points.
7:45 into this first half. Rattlers are down 12-8, a team that averages 77 a game, but offensively challenged in 2020 here so far. Low pass to Parmer Jr., who was fouled underneath by Lamont Traylor, and that time that's just using good size. You know, Parmer Jr. is truly a wing player. You can see that. He's not going to go into the post a whole lot, but Lamont Traylor was just out of positioning and just couldn't catch up and has to foul.
And we mentioned the Rattlers finding their groove defensively, but if they could stay away from foul trouble, they're able to maintain that level of intensity. Right now, we have Kirtland Wesley in foul trouble with 2 fouls and another foul on that possession right there. So it may be difficult as the game progresses. We need to keep an eye out and see how fouls will play a role in this.
Yeah, I mean, rebounds were really good for St. Mary's. They did a great job of that on Thursday despite losing their +1 here early, 6-5, as Noah Lang checks back in. Matej Gaspert. I'll tell you what, you see Kobe stand right next to Matej. That's just not even fair for that young man. Caleb Jordan's out there as well. Noah's got a few more inches, and then you got Emmanuel. I mean, that's literally a high-low game that you work out there with. You got a lot of speed, that's for sure. Second opportunity for Parmer Jr., who missed the first. Second one is good. He's got 5 as he will exit, replaced out there on the deck by DJ Walter, the Midwest City, Oklahoma native. 5-point game. 8-minute mark of half number 1. Caleb Jordan and company trying to get going. A team that when they have made 10 or more threes, they've won 4 times. Outside of that, mixed results. They've won twice, but they've lost 6 other times. As that ball is rebounded underneath by Walter. Did he push? He did, says Travis Modal. And it'll be Rattler basketball on the other side of the timeout. 11:47 to play, first half, 13-8. Oklahoma Christian leading it. This is St. Mary's basketball back after this timeout on the Lone Star Conference Network.
Before the storm rolls in, expect the KSAT Storm Chaser to be rolling out with our new mobile weather station. Expect live storm tracking from both our studio and the road.
Expect updates and warnings straight from the storm.
And on KSAT.com, expect our roof cam to be streaming live. Protect your family with a new level of local team coverage. Your weather authority, KSAT 12 and the Storm Chaser. Expect more.
We've been around for a while, and we know how to build a fresher pizza. A real pizza, one made with real fresh and real flavor. A pizza made with different toppings and the unique taste from our culture. And of course, a commitment to better, fresher dough and ingredients. We built a pizza culture where you can fill up on flavor without emptying your wallet. A culture that is quickly becoming the flavor of the neighborhood. Real fresh, real flavor. That's Pizza Patron.
Back at St. Mary's University, it's 13-8. Oklahoma Christian with the early advantage, along with BMAC. I'm Andrew Stossmeister. Fans, don't forget you can shop your style with Nike shoes for running, training, basketball, and more. Shop Nike.com for the ultimate selection of shoes, clothing, and apparel. Free shipping for members, plus free 30-day returns. Nike, just do it. Rattlers will have the basketball. Noah Lang out there, Caleb Jordan, Matej Gaspert, Emmanuel Awuzie, and Kobe McGee right now. Out on deck, 12 on the shot clock. McGee holding it, lobs it into the 6'11 fella. Now back out to Jordan. Passes a little bit off. Good zone defense as McGee forces it across. Noah Lang inside to Gaspert. The shot is good, but a foul is called before Matej got up to shoot it. He'll head to the side as St. Mary's are going to reset to 20 on the play clock.
Rattlers bailed out by that foul call right there. I'm not too sure if they would have been able to get the shot off, but they get a fresh 20 instead.
Jordan back to McGee, hand in his face on the left wing is up and is good. Kobe's second triple of the game. That gives him 74 career three-pointers at the collegiate level. Rattlers pull back within 2. Oklahoma Christian with it. Again, a team that doesn't score a lot of points, averaging 60. I know that's still a fair amount. That's not like it's a bad number, but in today's game, a lot of men's teams scoring 80. I mean, that's just the name of the game. So if you're not going to score that many, you have to have great defense. Aubrey Johnson down court, kicks the ball back out. Three-pointers up, and it's good. Marcus Blackwell with just his 8th three of the season. The Bridgeport, Connecticut player makes it back to a 5-point game.
The dribble penetration, creating that open look in the corner, and an open three puts...
Quick three out there by Kobe McGee, and Kobe finding his offense. Struggled, I thought, offensively on Thursday. He's got a lot of ability, but that time does a good job stepping up and picking up a couple of points as Caleb Jordan can't get the ball back. It's a numbers game, 3-on-2 at the other end. Jonathan Reyes-Valdez scores from downtown. He's 11-3 as an Eagle.
Reyes-Valdez hitting that three. He scored a career high against St. Ed's, and with that 3-point field goal, picking up right where he left off.
Highly recruited out of the San Antonio area. He's undersized, quite honestly. He's a Division I player, but you know, as a 5'11 guard, he's got great shiftiness. He can shoot the three, but he's also not afraid to share the basketball either. He takes that one away in the 2-3 zone defense. Rattlers are down 5, 19-14, 9:43 to play. First half. Passes behind everybody as Noah Lang, good effort, comes sliding by coaches. That's how you make an impact right there. Is Coach Z wants a call over there from Travis Modal, and he's not going to get one, but I'm sure they're going to have quite the exchange. And again, those guys have known each other for about 30 years. And Travis is not quite that old, by the way. Not throwing him under the bus or anything like that, but I mean, that's one of those moments where you're like, all right, good job by Noah Lang, but there was a lot of contact on that drive before the ball came out.
I really liked what Noah did there, hustling for those loose balls. That's something that you're going to have to maintain, especially throughout the course of a game.
Out of Bernie. Done a good job as Awuzie missed it on that first try, but nobody around him, so he gathers in the rebound. 9:20 to play, half number 1. Rattlers trying to end a mini slide right here. They lost on Thursday, lost before break. Trying to get a win here at home. They are 2-2 this season. Noah Lang out to Caleb Jordan. Again, it's an interesting mix. Oklahoma Christian, good defensive team. They play zone. St. Mary's likes to shoot the three. Are they going to be patient? Caleb Jordan shot his block, ball deflected. Oklahoma Christian will take over as Anthony Johnson comes in and says, hello, what's up, bro? Nice play. It was almost at it. Tried to throw it down court, and I tell you, he just looked at it because he had Reyes-Valdez, who just couldn't quite grab that. And instead it goes out of bounds, and St. Mary's will take back over.
I really like the hustle of both teams, really getting after it, not taking any loose ball for granted, and Oklahoma Christian just unable to maintain possession on that exchange.
Different lineup right here for the Rattlers. They get Awuzie, who's down there, Jaron Presley back out. Noah Lang to the free throw line. You see that rotation from Anthony Johnson. As that shot is no good, Matei Gaspard has the rebound, but there was a push on Kobe McGee who came through. It'll be the 3rd foul of the game on Oklahoma Christian. Inbounds on the baseline with 20 on the shot clock. Rattlers down by 5. St. Mary's and Oklahoma Christian meeting for the 14th time today. St. Mary's has won 9 times in this series that goes back just to 2013. Did not play each other as members of NAIA. Women did, but men have been more new since they joined the Heartland Conference. McGee's got 5 to shoot. Clock at 8:08. McGee steps up, off balance 3, rushed it a little bit. Lenhart, has the rebound. And the Eagles of Oklahoma Christian back down court. They are 3-7 are the Eagles. 2-4 under interim head coach Kender Talley, was given that interim tag in April. See what he can do. Kind of the show me, we'll reward you with a contract. As McGee down court for St. Mary's. Presley corner right for 3, rims up and out. Rebound deflects, and there's Matei using that volleyball spike as it finds its way down to Awuzie. A reverse layup, no good. Foul is called, and we'll have 2 free throws for Emmanuel on the other side of our media timeout. 19-14. Rattlers having a hard time finding field goals, but they will shoot 2 at the line when we come back. This is St. Mary's basketball back after this timeout on the Lone Star Conference Network.
Scams, corruption, cover-ups. KSAT's defenders don't just track down those at fault.
We do more. We hold them accountable.
Depend on the defenders to dig deeper, to ask the tough questions,
and to get the answers you deserve.
But was there ever a point where you started having concerns?
You are not a charitable organization.
Months of investigation.
We'll take it on.
Confronting the powerful.
We're there.
Facts matter, and San Antonio deserves the truth. Expect the defenders to hold them accountable.
A strong tradition of academic excellence, a commitment to community, and a rich history of athletic success, the Lone Star Conference has long been known as a leader in intercollegiate athletics. Now with 19 institutions that embody the best in college sports, the Lone Star Conference is the largest and most dynamic conference in NCAA Division II. 19 members strong, 19 members proud. This is the new Lone Star Conference.
Welcome back to Bill Grahey Arena in San Antonio. It's a 5-point lead for Oklahoma Christian. Taking a look around the conference here today, the men's games that are going on. Lubbock Christian and UTPB. It's a 5-point game with 6:09 to play in that one. St. Ed's all over Fort Smith. They're up halfway through the second half, up 75-52. Tarleton leads International. Angelo State leads Western. Those games are both in the first half. And then Eastern New Mexico will take on West Texas A&M a little bit later on this afternoon as Emmanuel Awuzie at the line shooting, misses the front end of 2 shots. And BMAC, you look at it, Rattlers, again, important for them to be patient, but at the same time stay aggressive. Walking that line is a challenge sometimes.
It really is, especially with the 2-3 zone. They're having difficulty at times trying to penetrate that zone as the second free throw is unable to fall, but the Rattlers sometimes have been a little too patient, I feel like, and it's caused them to rush some things late in the shot clock.
Matei Gaspard ends up picking up that foul, and you and I already talked about it. You made the point already that, you know, the big guys are starting to pick up some foul trouble. Lamont Traylor, Matei Gaspard in some trouble, so essentially it becomes 4 guards out there, and Lamont is back out, but we talked about it. Kirtland Wesley's already on the bench with a couple of fouls. St. Mary's going to try to pressure on the basketball and trap. Cross midcourt comes Palmer Jr. Kills his dribble, nowhere to go with it. He waits and he gets rid of it. He had to throw it to a space, and the Rattlers take over. Good job by Noah Lang to be in the right place.
Noah once again putting his body on the floor, able to cause that turnover.
Kobe McGee with it. You know, talked to Bubba Meyer about this before the game. He said, you got to drive the creases. That's how you beat the zone. Get the ball to the free throw line as Marquis Houston, turnaround 2, hang, shot is no good, ball falls right into the arms of Noah Lang, but a foul is called. It's on Oklahoma Christian. Somebody was holding on, and quite honestly, 2 guys were hanging on to Lamont Traylor, who got fouled. It's picked up by Palmer Jr. That'll be his second, team's 5th.
And you see how Oklahoma Christian, their defense just collapses once the ball gets into the paint, allowing for the guards to kind of sneak in through the back door, but the foul was called before Noah was able to get that putback.
Well, against Marquis is a guy that's going to have to step in and play well from 15 feet away, because you know Presley and McGee are going to stay out wide. Here's Kobe looking for his 3rd 3 of the game. No good. Lamont Traylor's got the board. The putback. There's contact. No call. Lamont trickles the baseline. And the ball still freed up as Noah Lang goes in head first. And I believe he's going to be called for a foul after Reyes Valdez pulled away with it. It's good effort by Noah Lang, but that's essentially in football, B-Mac, that's like watching a guy go in for spearing. Can't really do that one.
That was a perfect analogy, especially on this wild card weekend.
Who you got today, B-Mac?
I have the Texans advancing as well as the New England Patriots. It'll be interesting to see how all this unfolds. Very rare appearance for the Patriots in the wild card.
In our game, it's a 4-point affair. Both teams offensively challenged. St. Mary's zip for their last 7. Oklahoma Christian hasn't scored in 4 minutes. That remains as Presley takes the ball off the bottom of the backboard. Pushing down corners, McGee. Head is down, hooks back around. Marquis Houston is open, left wing for 3. It's no good. Jaron Presley's got the rebound. Good job by Jaron, holding down his teammate that was about to fall on him, Lamont Traylor. And Presley, the freshman out of Katy, Texas, his first 2 of the game.
Presley able to get the rebound, and the nice turnaround Jay able to get his first deuce of the game.
2-point game. Rattlers' first field goal in, 4 minutes? How about Reyes Valdez for three? No good. Taylor kips it out, and Jaron's got it. Presley down court quickly. Kobe McGee comes back around as Kobe tried to block it. Oh, good defense out there by Aubrey Johnson. Aubrey's got it inside the lane, looks for his teammate. Reyes Valdez, what a move. Looked like he was going to give it off, instead just threw it up off the backboard and in.
Whoops, where did he go? Said the Rattler defense, and Reyes Valdez able to lay it home.
See mom and dad up there. He's got some friends. I know he said he had some high school friends of his in town coming out to watch him here today. Clock at 5:07. St. Mary's down 4. Feels like they haven't led in forever, and Jaron Presley is called for traveling as he now begins an argument. I'll tell you what, this is, again, I think the coaches sometimes will not say who the officials are, but sometimes they do. And guys feel like, oh, I can talk a little bit. And these three are very quick to say, no, you're not going to talk to us. Come on, go play the game.
It's a case of knowing who you're working with. And, yes, this officiating crew will not take any talking back from the players.
Oklahoma Christian attacking to our right. They're in the black jerseys. 4-point game. Throw out to the free throw line, Blackwell, and Blackwell got there a little too easily. And a big reason was he came in and dropped his shoulder. Offensive foul, turnover, as St. Mary's will take it back over once again. Rattlers, we talked about, again, trying to take advantage of winning that rebounding battle. Lost for the first time on Thursday. They're 5-1. When they don't win the rebounds, it's the other side of that, 1-5. They have won a game, but it doesn't happen very often. Coach Z, again, as pleased as I've ever seen him after a loss. His team offensively did not play well, but they got some buckets down the stretch. Houston hit a couple of threes, had it to a 2-point game. Rattlers got it with 6 seconds left and could not do anything, as Caleb Jordan that time did get bailed out with a foul call. But, I mean, you just talk about it. This team has done some good things. Can they just believe enough to stay with the process and try to handle a low-scoring game like this?
And we mentioned it at the top of the broadcast. It's a matter of piecing it all together. You mentioned great defensive performance on Thursday, but just unable to find enough answers offensively. And the Rattlers now within 4 with 1-1 at the line. They just need to believe in it, one, but also just find that happy balance, both offensive and defensively.
3-point game. Jordan, 10 for his last 11 from the stripe. Good again. Caleb missed twice, and I've never seen somebody so mad after missing free throws. I mean, it happens, from time to time, but not for a guy that's supposed to be a 90+% shooter from 15 feet away with the clock stopped. 2-point game with 4:22 to play. Half number 1. Rattlers are 6-6. Oklahoma Christian is 3-7 as that shot is up and in. What a finish by Aubrey Johnson. He's got some skill, doesn't he?
He does. Able to find the soft spot and able to blow by his man for the easy 2.
He's got 8. Houston outside the paint. Back to Caleb Jordan. Wearing those neon yellow shoes is Marquis Houston from downtown connects. That's his first 3 in 5 attempts tonight. That gives Marquis 32 on the season. 1-point game. Up top right now is Connor Johnson. Again, no relation to Anthony or Aubrey. All 3 guys are actually from different areas. As that foul is called on St. Mary's. Away from the basketball. I think they just got Emmanuel Awuzie for the 6th team foul on the Rattlers. Final media timeout of half number 1. It's a 1-point game with Oklahoma Christian leading St. Mary's 23-22. We'll take a timeout. This is Rattler basketball on the Lone Star Conference Network.
We've been around for a while, and we know how to build a fresher pizza. A real pizza, one made with real fresh and real flavor. A pizza made with different toppings and the unique taste from our culture. And of course, a commitment to better, fresher dough and ingredients. We built a pizza culture where you can fill up on flavor without emptying your wallet. A culture that is quickly becoming the flavor of the neighborhood. Real fresh, real flavor. That's Pizza Patron.
23-22, Oklahoma Christian leading St. Mary's. Hey fans, stop by one of the 5 conveniently located Jason's Deli restaurants for a fresh, affordable meal anytime. Don't forget about free ice cream. Jason's Deli is happy to fulfill any and all catering needs with as little as same-day notice. Jason's Deli, the official sandwich of St. Mary's Athletics. The 17th foul was called on Emmanuel Awuzie, so it's 1-1 at the line right here for York Benjamin. The Tulsa product hits the first free throw up and in. Benjamin, a couple of years ago, transferred from Corpus Christi. Another Division I player that Kender Talley has been able to roll across, the graduate of Oklahoma Christian. And I tell you what, I saw Kender before the women's game, and he was, I almost didn't recognize him because he just played 5 years ago. I mean, he's a young dude, but, coaches have always talked about, man, he was a player coach when he played. And now having him on the bench, he's sitting next to his head coach, who is one of his primary mentors, Dan Hayes. And there's reason for that. As Caleb Jordan knocks that one through, Rattlers get it back to even at 24 apiece.
Rattlers showing a bit of press here. Let's see if they could smother the deep.
Can they get back as the shot is blocked from behind? Emmanuel Awuzie able to get there. Tell you what, we got a little bit better fan base here today showing up for the Rattlers. They've done a good job making some noise.
Indeed, and it's a new year, and students are starting to come back after the long holiday layoff. Really good to see them here and provide some of that energy for the Rattlers.
Oh, we talked about it on Thursday. I mean, nobody's here for school until late next week, and quite honestly, it's Thursday, Friday, which means people kind of rolling in Thursday, throw that week out. And then the next week after that, St. Mary's is back here. I think you have Martin Luther King Day after that. So, I mean, it comes fast, but it's good to be a college student, isn't it, B-Mac?
It really is. Long gone are those days for me, but I miss those days indeed.
Shot clock expires. Shot is no good. Loose ball for Benjamin. And finally, Emmanuel Awuzie pulls it away for St. Mary's. They push it. Presley, hand in his face, got it short. Ball ricochets a couple of times, and after it's all said and done, about 6 guys had a chance. St. Mary's has it as Jordan down the lane is fouled as he gets to the 16-foot mark, and he will head to the line. It's 1-1. Not in the act of shooting, I believe, as that foul is whistled on Connor Johnson of Oklahoma Christian.
And that's when the Rattlers have their opportunity to get to the basket, when there's a scramble after a loose ball. Again, not allowing for Oklahoma Christian to set up their zone defense, and Jordan able to draw the foul, setting up this 1-1.
Caleb with 4 points. He is 1 of 6 from the field. Good news is he's made one. He struggled. Caleb and Kobe were 0 for 13 combined on Thursday night. That was a number that you're not used to seeing from those two. They're great shooters. I mean, they're great defenders as well, but it's for them, if that three's not falling, how do they find other ways to get involved? And a coach will tell you, get to the free throw line.
That's how all great players find scoring, and that's getting to the free throw line.
Jordan ready. Number 2 is up, and it's good. Caleb's got 6. Hey, fans, don't forget, join us at halftime. We'll take a quick break and then come back. Jason Martins is going to join us. First home win of the season for the Lady Rattlers. They won earlier tonight, 79-47. Had a big day from Bella Hughes. Right now, the men are trying to find a way. They're up 2 here late in this first half. Similar to what was going on Thursday night. They never regained the lead, though, again at half number 2. A lot of contact away from the basketball. That is a physical activity going on inside of 15 feet. As that's an air ball, 5 to shoot inside the lane. Shot is up. Blackwell shot won't go. Ball's on the deck. Presley trying to find Houston. It looks like it's surfing season out there. Everybody's all over the court. Caleb Jordan finally picks it up. And now Jaron Presley to work. Down the lane, gives it out to the corner. Lang back around to Houston. Marquis will slow it down as, again, Jordan's like, okay, that was tiring.
That was an unbelievable defensive possession there for the Rattlers. Caleb Jordan battling down in the post, giving up a lot of height and weight.
Marquis Houston from downtown into 11 points now. That's his 3rd 3 of the game. And the Rattlers have their biggest lead at 5, 29-24, 83 seconds to play here in half number 1. And again, the Rattlers are used to making 9 threes a game. If they get that going, good things can happen. That's a juggled basketball. And now a double dribble is the call as Blackwell had it. And again, fans are getting into it right here for St. Mary's. Seeing a lot of good from the folks wearing gold this afternoon.
A lot of energy and momentum really turning into the favor of the Rattlers over the last few possessions. They'll look to finish strong, 1:12 left, holding on to a 5-point lead.
Well, that's the beauty of, again, playing defense. Everybody talks about the offense and how many points you can come up with there, but good defense leads into good offense, and then just like that, you find yourself comfortably ahead, multiple possessions. Rattlers right now have a 5-point lead. Noah Lang, Lamont Traylor, Marquis Houston, Caleb Jordan, and Colby McGee on the deck in gold. They have it right now as Marquis is open three-pointer. He gets the friendly hop, and the run continues. That's 10 in a row for St. Mary's in the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Marquis getting the friendly roll here in the friendly confines of Bill Grahey Arena.
Johnson along with Lenhart, Blackwell, Reyes, and Palmer Jr. on the deck, but a timeout called by Kendra Talley, just trying to slow up the run. Again, it's 10 in a row in the last 2:45. Rattlers have hit 5 of the last 6 shots, and that one miss became a three-pointer.
Rattlers really turning it on the defensive end, which is really translating offensively. You mentioned 5 of their last 6 have gone in, and Marquis Houston hitting a three-pointer just before this timeout. He's turned it on as well, and the Rattlers have seemed to find their groove offensively after really anchoring down on the defensive end.
14 points out there for Marquis. He's the game-high scorer at this moment. Oklahoma Christian without anything in the last 3 minutes. 2:51 for those of you keeping track at home. Glad to have you with us along with BMAC. I'm Andrew Stossmeister. Cross-divisional matchup today. St. Mary's in pod number 2. Oklahoma Christian in pod number 3. 17 fouls committed by St. Mary's. Next one will be 1-1 if it happens. On the other side, 32 seconds left. Oklahoma Christian does not play for a 2-for-1. Instead, they give it back out. Blackwell's got it around arc left. They get it into their playmakers' hands. Reyes Valdez drives, kicks it out right corner. Johnson, Aubrey for 3, no good. But the tip from behind counts. Foul is called on St. Mary's. And man, BMAC, it's going to be 6-8.
It really is. Utilizing every inch of his length. Linehart able to get the tip plus the foul, and that stops a lot of the momentum the Rattlers have built up over the past few minutes.
Well, to me, you look at a guy like Will Lenhart, who, coming from Oklahoma State a couple years ago, he has led the country in Division II in rebounds the last couple of years. 12, 13 rebounds, and while he's 6'8", I mean, he's got some on top of him, so it's like you don't want to fight that man at 250 pounds. I mean, he's a big dude. He moves around very well, and he has been an asset. 7 seconds left. Kobe McGee's got it. Marquis Houston, 2 guys come running at Marquis. He checks up, fires an off-balance 3. No good, and that's the end of half number 1 as DJ Walter pulls in the rebound. But the Rattlers go into the break with a lead. Weird stat for St. Mary's. When they're leading, they're 6-0. When they're trailing at halftime, they're 0-6. They're on the right side. They are up 6 at halftime. 32-26. We'll take a quick timeout. In 60 seconds, we'll bring on women's coach Jason Martins, who got their first home win of the season. We'll talk to him next. This is Rattler Basketball. Back after this on the Lone Star Conference Network. If you can, please bring it back after 60.
A strong tradition of academic excellence, a commitment to community, and a rich history of athletic success, the Lone Star Conference has long been known as a leader in intercollegiate athletics. Now with 19
We heard about the other day, right? I'm driving home. I can hear you during timeouts.
The Lone Star
I can hear you
Conference
talking.
is the largest and most dynamic conference in NCAA Division II. 19 members strong, 19 members proud. This is the new Lone Star Conference.
And we welcome you back to Bill Greehey Arena. It's halftime, 32-26 of our men's game, but we're going to switch to talk a little bit about what's going on with the women's game right now. Jason Martin's kind enough to join us. And Jason, I know it was kind of one of those finally moments for you here today to get the win.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing, you know, the difference a couple days it make. You know, Thursday night we couldn't buy a basket. Today we shot lights out, and so I'm really proud of our girls, the way they bounced back and, you know, found a way. And, you know, I mean, when the shots fall, you know, makes the game a lot easier.
I was going to say, I know the game's a lot more fun when the shots do fall, but you talk about being able to come out and have great energy. The shots were not going in immediately, but I thought you guys had great energy. Jesse Barbosa got you guys going, I thought, with the rebounds, and then Maya Culver hit a couple of threes to say, all right, here we go, before Bella Hughes got crazy.
Yeah, we just needed to settle in a little bit, and, you know, we shaked up our starting lineup a little bit, you know, with Jess bringing her in. Maya wasn't even supposed to start today. 2 minutes before tip-off, you know, Lex goes out and throws up, you know, and so we had to make a quick adjustment. And, you know, Maya made the most of her opportunity, come in, scored 5 quick points for us. That was huge. And then, then Bella went off, and that was great.
What a game for her. And, you know, we've talked about it. You got 6 freshmen out there that can all play. They've all gone through the ups and downs already of the early confidence, but Bella, she saw the ball go in a couple of times, and it really carried over.
No, that was huge for us today. I mean, we actually made a comment about she struggled shooting the ball in practice this week, and, you know, for her to, you know, she has that shooter's mentality. She thinks every time she shoots, it's going to go in, and she did a great job today. She hit that first one and then just started rolling.
Well, and how big is that for a player like her that has 11 in the first half? You say, oh, good job, that's a great game, but to come out immediately and have 10 points in the third quarter and really put the game away at that point, that's great to be able to play half to half like that.
Yeah, that was very big for her. I mean, she has that capability, and for her to come in and just come off the bench and just have that confidence to take that shot, and it was huge. I mean, she hit those 3 threes and had that 4-point play, was great, and, you know, just got to continue to build on it.
Well, and I thought, again, throughout this game, as we talked with Jason Martins, great defense all the way throughout. You know, you had some lapses there in the fourth quarter when the game was in hand, but the defense really, I thought, set up a lot of hustle in those 50-50 balls that really got the offense flowing.
Yeah, we talked about that before the game. I said we had to rebound well, and we had to get all the 50-50 balls, just like you said, and we did today. And, you know, it just shows what we're capable of when we're locked in and focused. We can be a really good defensive team because when we're locked in. You know, this is a very good offensive team we played today, and to hold them to 47 points was a great defensive effort.
Yep, that's what you needed. Get 11 people in, all 11 score, a lot of smiles, and of course, next week, back to the grind.
Yeah, we're back on the road, and, you know, actually we played better on the road this year than we have at home, so it'll be nice to, you know, just try to find a way to get that second win. We haven't won 2 in a row all year, so hopefully we can find a way to win at Cameron on Thursday and start getting some momentum going in the second semester.
There you go. Congrats on the win today, Jason.
I thank you. Appreciate it.
Jason Martin's very excited, and as with good reason that he should be. His team played very well. They win 79-47. We'll go ahead and take a timeout. We continue from Bill Greehey Arena next.
I honestly have no idea what you said that first question.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Beat before the storm rolls in, expect the KSAT Storm Chaser to be rolling out. With our new mobile weather station, expect live storm tracking from both our studio and the road.
Expect updates and warnings straight from the storm.
And on KSAT.com, expect our roof cam to be streaming live. Protect your family with a new level of local team coverage. Your weather authority, KSAT 12 and the Storm Chaser. Expect more.
We've been around for a while, and we know how to build a fresher pizza. A real pizza, one made with real fresh and real flavor. A pizza made with different toppings and the unique taste from our culture. And of course, a commitment to better, fresher dough and ingredients. We built a pizza culture where you can fill up on flavor without emptying your wallet. A culture that is quickly becoming the flavor of the neighborhood. Real fresh, real flavor. That's Pizza Patron.
Scams, corruption, cover-ups. KSAT's defenders don't just track down those at fault.
We do more. We hold them accountable.
Depend on the defenders to dig deeper, to ask the tough questions,
and to get the answers you deserve.
But was there ever a point where you started having concerns?
You are not a charitable organization.
Months of investigation.
We'll take it on.
Confronting the powerful.
We're there.
Facts matter, and San Antonio deserves the truth. Expect the defenders to hold them accountable.
A strong tradition of academic excellence, a commitment to community, and a rich history of athletic success, the Lone Star Conference has long been known as a leader in intercollegiate athletics. Now with 19 institutions that embody the best in college sports, the Lone Star Conference is the largest and most dynamic conference in NCAA Division II. 19 members strong, 19 members proud. This is the new Lone Star Conference.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Before the storm rolls in, expect the KSAT Storm Chaser to be rolling out. With our new mobile weather station, expect live storm tracking from both our studio and the road.
Expect updates and warnings straight from the storm.
And on KSAT.com, expect our roof cam to be streaming live. Protect your family with a new level of local team coverage. Your weather authority, KSAT 12 and the Storm Chaser. Expect more.
We've been around for a while, and we know how to build a fresher pizza. A real pizza, one made with real fresh and real flavor. A pizza made with different toppings and the unique taste from our culture. And of course, a commitment to better, fresher dough and ingredients. We built a pizza culture where you can fill up on flavor without emptying your wallet. A culture that is quickly becoming the flavor of the neighborhood. Real fresh, real flavor. That's Pizza Patron.
Scams, corruption, cover-ups. KSAT's defenders don't just track down those at fault.
We do more. We hold them accountable.
Depend on the defenders to dig deeper, to ask the tough questions.
Party up there.
And to get the answer.
Yeah, come on back to me when you're ready.
But was there ever a point where you started having concerns?
You are not a charitable organization.
Months of investigation.
We'll take it on.
Confronting the powerful.
We're there.
Facts matter, and San Antonio deserves the truth. Expect the defenders to hold them accountable.
Welcome back to Bill Greehey Arena. Andrew Stossmeister and BMAC today having a good time. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday as much as we are. Basketball is always a good way to go, BMAC. I mean, you talk about the Rattlers, 32-26 at halftime. Had a good showing so far, and of course you couple that with the way that the women played. You know, Jason Martin, well-earned victory here today. They played really well.
Rattler women's basketball came out and were just firing on all cylinders. Bella Hughes caught fire. For those of you that are familiar with NBA Jam, I almost saw the net catch on fire when she just kept shooting from behind the arc. It was unbelievable. Great performance from Bella and the rest of the Rattlers, picking up that victory here at home. Very impressive against a really good Oklahoma Christian team.
Yeah, and I know I don't like to touch on records because usually I say that, and at these games, a lot of times people can hear me, but I had mentioned something about, hey, Bella's on the cusp of breaking the record, and the last one she shot, she just hit it a little too strong. That was the heat check moment, but she tied the record. She's got a ways. I will be surprised if she doesn't break the record before she leaves.
And she's been an exciting player. Her first season with the Rattlers, an exciting player to watch for sure.
Well, now let's talk men's basketball a little bit. 32-26. If you believe in numbers, and I know you're a superstitious guy, Rattlers are 6-0 when leading at half. They're 0-6 when trailing. Important for them there in the last 4 minutes. Played real good basketball.
They were able to turn the tide, really take control of this ball game. Their defensive intensity really turned the tide, and they were able to come away with a 6-point lead.
Other games that are going on today, it's always fun to be able to look around the Lone Star Conference. Andrew Stossmeister, BMAC on camera here today from Bill Greehey Arena in San Antonio, just about set to get started with the second half. Oklahoma Christian, this is a team when you talk about their stuff, about how things go for them. You know, they've led at halftime and lost 3 times. They've trailed at halftime and won 1. So they kind of go back and forth. It doesn't seem to bother them a whole lot. But, you know, for them, it's 2-3 zone defense. St. Mary's, can they continue to be patient yet still be aggressive?
The Rattlers showed a lot of patience in that first half. Like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They need to remain patient in attacking this zone defense.
Rattlers with it. They're in the gold jerseys. Oklahoma Christian in the blacks. Caleb Jordan holding the ball. Stretched out. That's always a good way to make sure you stretch your calves out at halftime. Coming back out. Matei Gaspard, all 6'11" of that big fella. Gives the ball back out. McGee's got 5 to shoot. Corner left. Pull up 3. Hand in the face. Shot is no good. Rebound underneath. Brought in by Palmer Jr. Palmer Jr., I thought, really lost his aggressiveness when he picked up 2 early fouls. He stayed in the game, but we'll see now how he changes here in the second half.
Foul trouble really dictates how you attack defensively, and like you said, we'll keep on the lookout.
Nice take underneath that time. Jonathan Reyes-Valdez scores that one. The San Antonio product who went to Northern Colorado, and he comes back to play in San Antonio for the first time. That's good to see him come back. He was in San Marcos a year ago when they played, so he was close for friends and family, had a good contingent then. He's got some of those folks here today as that shot rips up and out, and Marquis Houston picks up where he left off. He's got 17.
5 of 10 from behind the three-point arc is Marquis Houston. Like you said, picking up right where he left off, able to drain that one from 3.
Marquis, the only player for either team in double figures right now. The lead is 7 for St. Mary's. We're 90 seconds into half number 2. Reyes-Valdez working on McGee around a screen, hook pass, and the two-handed flush finished inside by Dadrian Palmer Jr., but what a find. Reyes-Valdez with his 23rd assist of the season.
Able to create off the dribble penetration and able to find the open guy for the easy two-handed slam.
Man, he's got some talent, doesn't he? I mean, and that's what he brings. He can shoot the ball, but he also is an excellent passer. That's what has allowed him to be what he was, a Division I player after he played here at Clark High School. 6 on the shot clock. Houston's got it. Marquis, the hot hand, clears out some space, trying to get the charge, and Marquis with an air ball. And I tell you what, Marquis looked over, kind of winced a little bit, but he was close to picking up a charging foul in the process.
And he had to rush that shot because the shot clock was winding down. Just unfortunate.
Rattlers looking for their 7th victory on the season. They are 2-4 in league action. Oklahoma Christian 3-7. I'll tell you what, B-Mac, this does not look like a 3-7 team, as Gasper forgot to jump and Will Lenhart jumped over him and got the ball as we get a foul away from action as they get Kirtland Wesley again, and Coach Z with the death stare over there at Eric Kronbusch.
Kurt Wesley, his 3rd personal foul with only 17:30 left in this second half. Not a good way to start this second half.
He's got 3 fouls in 4 minutes. I mean, and right now, if you're on the other side, you're just attacking 2. I mean, it's a good way to go, but you know, Kirtland's a talented player, man, and when he's healthy, he is probably this team's best post player. That's nothing against the other guys, but he is the most physical and athletically. Other teams just can't guard him. He's that good. Caleb Jordan with it, following the Oklahoma Christian turnover. Kobe McGee's had a nice game today, found his offensive confidence once again. Back around to Marquis. Looking high, being patient. Gasper comes and sets the screen. McGee steps in, 18-footer, rims up and out. Rebound chased down by Reyes-Valdez, and Bubba Meyer and Coach C yelling. We can hear him loud, as clear as day on the other side of the court, saying, Matei, turn around, that's right there for you to dunk it at the other end. Just got to go get it as we get another offensive foul call on Oklahoma Christian, and now things are getting to be a little bit tedious. Both coaches at least screaming at the same thing. You can appreciate that, right?
Absolutely. Both coaches were used to a certain type of officiating in the first half. Now the referees have really tightened up the calls, and we've seen some interesting calls early on in this second half.
Marquis Houston with it, 5-point game. Rattlers without points now the last 2 minutes. Now a mini drought. Caleb gives it out. Marquis is open deep on the left wing. Nothing but nylon on its way down. Marquis has got 20. That's his 6th 3 of the game. That matches his season high.
When Marquis is on, he is on. His 6th 3. Another one finding the bottom of the net.
You know, he's that guy that, I mean, you watch him sometimes. He'll make 7 out of 7. He is that kind of guy. Like any great player, rhythm is his friend. 4 minutes into the second half. Awuzio underneath, can't guard Palmer Jr. Great move for him. He's got 9. Back to a 6-point game.
Excellent move in the post, able to flip it over the outstretched arm of the defender.
Caleb Jordan holding it. Caleb's got 6 points, but he's having one of his best games from an assist standpoint. He's got 6 of them here today as Wesley goes strong to the cup and tries to flush it down with 2 hands. He has hit enough at the end to be unable to finish, but he will head to the line for 2 shots, and that's what I'm talking about, that physically imposing stature of number 2 in goal.
I love what Wes did there, able to go up strong, drawing the foul. Even though he didn't get the dunk, was able to draw the foul, and now he'll head to the line for 2 after our break.
38-32, Rattlers leading Oklahoma Christian. This is St. Mary's basketball back after this timeout on the Lone Star Conference Network.
A strong tradition of academic excellence, a commitment to community, and a rich history of athletic success, the Lone Star Conference has long been known as a leader in intercollegiate athletics. Now with 19 institutions that embody the best in college sports, the Lone Star Conference is the largest and most dynamic conference in NCAA Division II. 19 members strong, 19 members proud. This is the new Lone Star Conference.
Before the storm rolls in, expect the KSAT Storm Chaser to be rolling out with our new mobile weather station. Expect live storm tracking from both our studio and the road.
Expect updates and warnings straight from the storm.
And on KSAT.com, expect our roof cam to be streaming live. Protect your family with a new level of local team coverage. Your weather authority, KSAT 12 and the Storm Chaser. Expect more.
Back in San Antonio, Andrew Stossmeister along with BMAC at 38-32. St. Mary's leading Oklahoma Christian in the 14th all-time meeting. Rattlers have a 9-4 edge, but they have never lost at home. They are 6-0. Kirtland Wesley at the line, shooting 2. Left-hander left it a little bit short. Kirtland has not had a chance to play a lot today, and that's after a string of 9 in a row at the free throw line. I'm sure it's hard for him right now, BMAC, to get his rhythm. If he can, St. Mary's feels like they can push this into a double-digit lead.
Unable to hit both free throws there, but yes, if Kirtland can really get into a rhythm, I know he's battling foul trouble, but if they could get him going, the Rattlers are very tough to beat.
Oklahoma Christian, we talked about it, not a great scoring team, but a great pass right there and a foul called on St. Mary's. Houston is saying he wants that. Again, that's where you have some teammates trying to say, don't give that one to Kirtland right there. Honestly, it was close. Houston got a piece of him, but Will Lenhart, all 6'8" of him, just a veteran move right there, knowing that if the ball goes in, it's a bonus, but he's going to the line at least for 2 shots. At the line for 2 is Will Lenhart. As a shooter at the line this season, just 7 of 16. Missed that one badly. You know, he's a left-hander. He's worked on that part of his game a lot. Number 2 is an air ball, and the folks in the stands are going to say something about it. But, you know, for him, he's a rhythm guy. I mean, he shoots the ball like Shaq. Other hand, although I think Shaq tried about everything and never made many free throws. At the other end, Rattlers with an attacking half-court right, up by 6. They've led by as many as 8. Oklahoma Christian had a 7-point lead back in the first half. Wesley, good entry pass to a cutting Emmanuel Lawuzier, but Kirtland stepped out. And I tell you, you know, sometimes some guys just feel like the officials are watching one guy. And I know that's how Kirtland feels. Got to find a way to rise above it.
Absolutely, and it's one of those situations where you kind of establish a reputation early on in the ball game as someone that's been picking up fouls, and yes, you draw a little more attention as the game progresses, but like you mentioned, you just need to find a way to rise above it.
Rattlers still as a team under 36% right now shooting. That shot is good. Dadrian Palmer scores once again. That'll take him to 11. First player to double figures for Oklahoma Christian. 4-point game at the 5.5-minute mark of this second half. That time a quick look. Rattlers got to hustle back. Coach Z to the other end, and look out for Will Lenhart and the two-handed flush. Excellent pass. Reyes Valdez set up his big fella, and he smoked the backboard on his way down.
Big man able to finish with authority, and that pumps some life into this Eagle team, now trailing by just 2.
Jordan floating one-hander is no good. Got knocked over there by Marcus Blackwell, who was beat. Great answer by Caleb Jordan. You know, the fans love the dunks. They're exciting, but it's more important for the team that takes that dunk to be able to go out and get a quick look and points if they can at the other end.
Dunks serve more than one purpose, not just momentum, but also the crucial 2 points that count in the scoreboard.
Caleb has now made 14 of his last 15 free throws. He has got almost all of his points. He's just 1 of 6 from the field, but almost all of his points at the foul line. Give Caleb 7 for the game. He is 0 for 2 from behind the arc, but he's been more of a distributor here today. It's odd. Him and Kobe have kind of switched roles, and that was Caleb last year. He was the 1. This year, he's more of the 2. Kobe slides in, has been the 1, but big game today from Caleb Jordan in all aspects.
And that's been what's been so beneficial about this backcourt for the Rattlers. Both of them can interchange roles and be effective on any given night.
Marcus Blackwell in front of interim head coach Kendra Talley looking on. Feed underneath, shot is no good to Adrian Palmer as Gaspert and Awuzie both jump. Unable to get there before the foul. 2 shots once again at the line. And Oklahoma Christian, with so many things that they do well, free throws are not really there for them. They've struggled today. They're just 2 of 7. Palmer Jr., one of the better free throw shooters, coaxes that first one in. Makes it a 3-point game. Fans, today's game is presented by Star Shuttle and Charter, the exclusive transportation provider of St. Mary's Athletics. Star Shuttle and Charter, they go the distance for you. Second toss is good. So, see, there you say, as you say, struggle from the line, you get 2 of them. That's important. Oklahoma Christian, again, when you live and die defensively, you have to hit your free throws, especially on the road. As Kobe McGee fires a 3 and connects.
Especially with limited scoring opportunities, Oklahoma Christian, one of the lower scoring teams in the conference. You need to capitalize on your few offensive possessions, and free throws are just a key component of that.
Well, I can't remember. Division II's up to like 300 some teams now, but they're in the bottom 50. I mean, that's not an easy feat to be able to do that. As Gaspert saves the ball back for the Rattlers, they're in the goal. They're up by 5. 7 minutes into half number 2, Caleb Jordan still trying to attack that very, very challenging 2-3 zone as Gaspert misses the shot. Physical rebound by Marcus Blackwell underneath. Rattlers are 3 of 8 to start this second half. Ball held on the left wing by Reyes Valdez. He gets rid of it over to Johnson. Aubrey with it now. Working on Caleb Jordan. St. Mary's continue to stay in their man-to-man as Gaspert cheats inside. Handoff pass inside the lane. Palmer Jr. won't get it to go. Ball trickles out to the perimeter. Caleb's got it. If he hustles, it's 3-on-2. Jordan gives it back. Awuzie for the 2-handed flush is up and in. And a great 2-man game that time with Emmanuel and Caleb Jordan.
Caleb Jordan with eyes in the back of his head, able to find Emmanuel for the 2-handed slam.
Tell you what, Emmanuel's gassed, and I think he landed awkwardly on that play. Is going to reach in foul on somebody, it looked like, on St. Mary's. I think they got Kobe. Kobe thought he poked that one free as Awuzie is going to come out. Here comes Lamont Traylor. Jaron Presley, a Houston native, will check in as well from Katy. 12-11 to play here in this second half. 45-38. St. Mary's led by 6 at halftime. Had a nice little surge before the break to put together a 2-possession lead. Oklahoma Christian with it right now. Anthony Johnson is checked in. Palmer Jr., the team's leading scorer with 13, blocked away as Lamont Traylor comes over for his 4th block of the season. And that'll take us to immediate timeout. 11:59 to play. We're in the second half. Rattlers by 7, 45-38 over Oklahoma Christian. This is St. Mary's basketball back after this timeout on the Lone Star Conference Network.
We've been around for a while, and we know how to build a fresher pizza. A real pizza, one made with real fresh and real flavor. A pizza made with different toppings and the unique taste from our culture. And of course, a commitment to better, fresher dough and ingredients. We built a pizza culture where you can fill up on flavor without emptying your wallet. A culture that is quickly becoming the flavor of the neighborhood. Real fresh, real flavor. That's Pizza Patron.
Back at Bill Grahey Arena, Andrews Dossmeister, PMAC here this afternoon. It's And St. Mary's trying to look for their first sweep at home this season. They have not done that. Women won earlier. Men, can they follow suit? BMAC, one thing that's been fun to watch about St. Mary's here today and to start 2020, they've finally been a little healthy, and you can see when they're all healthy how good they are.
Indeed, St. Mary's fighting the injury bug early on in the season and almost in a way was forced to find a different identity, but when everyone's healthy, their identity is clear and everybody's roles is defined, and like you said, a lot of fun to watch so far throughout the first 3 quarters of this game.
Matej Gasper just picked up his 4th foul. Team's 5th already. Just 8 minutes in as Reyes Valdez holds it. 10 on the shot clock. They try to work it down to Lenhart. Cross-court pass, drive, layup, it's good. Nice move by Marcus Blackwell, the senior out of Bridgeport, Connecticut. He's got 5, just 2 of 8 today in this game, but Coach Z over there on the bench not happy with what just transpired as the foul was called, and now you got to move some people around. As again, Matej not available anymore. We talked about Kirtland, who's been in trouble. In fact, they just called that foul on Matej Gasper, so he's out.
With 11:41 left, that could very well be a crucial blow to the Rattlers.
It's a big loss.
With how thin their front line is.
Well, and I mean, thank goodness the game is a 3-point game anymore. Matej's hit some of those, but I'll tell you what, man, Matej has had some big games. In fact, in the win last year, he had 14 and 8. Didn't play very well in the loss, so hopefully things improve in him as Presley misses. And Jaron has got such a good shot. And coaches have talked about it that, hey, he's got to know where he's at. As Dylan Eisenhower, I think first minutes of the game for Dylan. He started some games this year. As Presley finally gets that to go, he claps his hand in approval, knowing that, hey, see, I can make this ball.
Presley, he's one of those guys that he is very capable of catching fire. He had an impressive outing against West Texas earlier this season and able to hit that mid-range jumper.
Well, you saw him in that game at UIW. The kid is a shooter. Lot of ability. Again, coaches trying to find a way to get him in the rotation as Lenhart, what a move. Fading to his left. He's a left-handed guy primarily, and that's one of those things that goes back to the scouting report about knowing that, okay, I got to guard a 250-pound 6'8" guy. By the way, he's left-handed.
A lot of unique variables in that matchup, and he got the better of Lamont Traylor on that exchange.
47-41 as Lenhart from the line still can't get it to go. He is 0 for here in this game. Other finals checking in on the men's side. St. Ed's ends up beating Fort Smith 93-75. Tarleton and International playing here this afternoon on the men's side of things as Lenhart gets the free throw. It's a 17-point lead right now for Tarleton. Angelo leads Western New Mexico. Commerce and Midwestern are close. They're halfway through the second half, 48-46. And Eastern New Mexico and West Texas A&M are just underway. We'll run down the women's scores when time allows. As that 3 is off from Kobe McGee. Rebound, Anthony Johnson. One-on-one at the other end. High-low game is Reyes Valdez. Out jumps Caleb Jordan. 3-point game, 47-44.
Reyes Valdez, great patience, able to get the lay-in.
Lamont Traylor just missed the rebound. I'll tell you what, coaches hate that because you can see Lamont jumped after the Caleb Jordan miss. It went right through his hands and over his head. Oklahoma Christian looking for the lob down low again. Great find. Look at the big fella pass the ball. Will Lenhart loads it down for Palmer Jr., who makes it a 1-point game. We're halfway through the second half as Jim Selznick takes a timeout.
Beautiful touch pass by Lenhart. Able to create the big man, showing his versatility, creating that scoring opportunity, and just like that, the Rattler lead is down to 1.
47-46, we'll take the timeout. Rattlers by a point here on the Lone Star Conference Network. San Antonio, exactly halfway through this second half, 47-46. St. Mary's leading Oklahoma Christian. I promised the women's score, so let's go ahead and run down them in the Lone Star Conference. Lubbock Christian, big, almost 50 points, 45 over UTPB earlier today. Arkansas, Fort Smith, they beat St. Ed 66-62. West Texas A&M over Eastern New Mexico from Portales today. Tarleton beats International 73-69. Close one there. How about Commerce over the century mark against Midwestern State 107-70. St. Mary's won earlier today. Big win for them over the visiting Oklahoma Christian Eagles as Lamont Traylor can't finish on court. Back to it is Oklahoma Christian with the basketball. They've got a nice little surge going right here, B-Mac. They have put it together and hit their last 3 shots.
They've been crisp offensively, very efficient, and a lot of credit to Leinhard, able to create from the post and pass on the interior.
Anthony Johnson can't get his shot to go and then hikes it right through his legs on Wildcat Saturday as he lost the ball that time. Looked like it was kind of a play that belongs outside, but nonetheless, not taking anything away from him. Great job by Johnson to get inside, create that opportunity, just couldn't quite come down with the rebound.
And an unfortunate break for the Eagles, but good break for the Rattlers.
1 point affair. Been a couple of ties and lead changes, but they both occurred in the first half. St. Mary's has been up in the second half by as many as 8. Close game at halftime. Rattlers, though, by 6 at the moment. As Kobe McGee fires a 3, it rims up and out. Leinhard has the rebound. Contact on that rebound as Oklahoma Christian runs the deck and will have a chance at 2 free throws. How about this? 28 points in the paint right now for Oklahoma Christian, B-Mac. Just 6 for St. Mary's, and you can see that Oklahoma Christian, when they see that chance at fast break, they're getting down court.
Like we mentioned, a team that is so defensively focused, they really go out and try to take their opportunities when they get out on the break. No better way to score than on those fast break opportunities. Those are probably some of the easiest baskets you could get.
Well, and when you talk about, again, only 4 fast break points, that's because that's how many they've caught and been able to finish. I think you throw in another 6 or so to get out there with the free throws that they've made. So, I mean, that's 10 points the other direction just by hustle. As Palmer Jr. goes 1 for 2 at the line. He's got a total of 16. That's the most on Oklahoma Christian's side. Marquis Houston's been the big play guy for St. Mary's. He's got 20 here this afternoon. New players that have checked in: Noah Lang, Dylan Eisenhower, Emmanuel Awuzie is Emmanuel. Underneath, left-handed finish is up and good. There's a reason why St. Mary's is high on number 32 in gold.
Excellent positioning down low, but a lot of credit to Marquis Houston, able to set up that play instead of taking the tough jumper, was able to feed it down low.
Well, that's the threat of his offensive ability. I mean, you just know that he could pull up from anywhere from beyond the arc. It's impressive to watch as that tip in by Leinhard is good. How about that Oklahoma City product? Staying with it, and I'll tell you what, for a guy that's been hurt all season, looks like he's starting to regain his form. 7 points, 7 rebounds now. Noah Lang with it, attacking in the end to our right. Awuzie back to Lang, 8 minutes to play. Here in the second half, we're all tied up at 49. Houston back to McGee, using the shot clock, being patient, calling for a screen, takes it. This time Houston has a man in his face. Deep 3 is no good. Great defense by the Eagles. Blackwell emerges away with it.
Houston had to force up that shot. The shot clock was running down. Good defensive possession by the Eagles.
You want to see guys fading closer. A lot of the time, St. Mary's is kind of falling into a trend where the shot clock's running out on them. They're fading backwards, getting further away. You know, you keep working. Typically, you can find that shot a little bit better. 7 on the shot clock for Oklahoma Christian. Palmer Jr. down the lane, runs into Eisenhower. Shot is no good. Did not hit the rim. The shot is up. It is good. Count it, and a foul. And St. Mary's is crying bloody murder out there, saying, hey, come on now. Was that a shot clock expiration? Officials will all go and talk with one another. As Travis Moodle, the veteran, said, hey, it's okay. Talk to Eric Kronbusch, and they're going to go ahead, I believe, and review this. And just take a look-see. It looked like it was at zeros, but quite honestly, I thought to me that it was Anthony Johnson who had gone in and looked like the shot goes up and it hit the rim. And it looked like on that initial try, they did not say it did, at least the shot clock did it. So that'll be kind of the first review, and then the second is, did the ball get up and in before that foul was called?
Yeah, 2 for 1 here on this review. I'm not quite sure if I can't even recall if the ball hit the rim, because Eisenhower, he was fighting for position, and I was actually paying attention to him when he was getting muscled out of the way. So the officials are going to have to look and see, should the shot clock have reset, and also if yes, did the foul occur, or if no, then did the foul occur right before it went off? So the officials have quite a bit to look over during this timeout.
Well, and to me, again, again, process of elimination, when you're underneath the hoop, you're hitting the rim somehow, whether it's on the way up or on the way down, which still counts. It doesn't matter which way it's going, but at the same time, like you said, there's a lot to try and break down. Travis Modal, our head referee today, going over there to take a look-see. Been doing this a long time. Kevin Joseph, Eric Kronbusch, those guys have done a good job once again here this afternoon. We've got 7:13 to play. Right now it is tied. If the bucket ends up counting, Oklahoma Christian will have their first lead of the second half. They're 9 of 16 right now from the field. That's 56%. St. Mary's, they're finding a way, Brian. It doesn't look pretty. They're 6 of 17 in the second half. They're under 36%, which this is a team that's been averaging 47. The first 2 games of 2020 have not been real kind to them, but, despite their shooting numbers, their defense still looks pretty good.
Rattlers defense has brought them to the dance and once again has kept them in this ball game. The Rattlers not really doing much in the paint because of that stifling Oklahoma Christian zone defense, but when it has mattered the most, the Rattlers have found ways to score, whether it be down low through second chance opportunities or the three-point ball, which Marquis Houston has gone to quite a bit in this ball game. An excellent game from him.
Well, I think a big reason why this game, regardless of what they tell us here, has really separated itself just a little bit is that the Rattlers have struggled to rebound in this second half. They've been out-rebounded 14-4 after being +7 at halftime. That's a number that's got to get fixed around if St. Mary's is to come out victorious in this basketball game.
Quite a bit at stake for both teams. Both teams looking for their first wins of 2020. The Rattlers on a bit of a losing skid, lost 2 of their last.
Thank you very much.
All right, so there you get it. It's a shot clock violation is what the officials determined. Again, I'm sure on the other side, Kendra Talley's just punching the chair a little bit. He's not happy with what happened. At the same time, it's, you got to be going, how does that happen? And it's like, you're right under the hoop. You didn't hit it on the one way or the other. Then again, that is a difficult angle. And St. Mary's able to catch a little bit of love as they will have the basketball. 7:13 to play. I think this is what's so exciting to me, B-Mac. I love non-conference play. It's a lot of fun. It's great to see some matchups, especially locally with some different teams, but you get into the meat of this thing, and this is why I think, this 18, 19-team race is going to be wild to watch here in the next 9 weeks.
Especially with the familiarity between these two teams, having played in the Heartland the past few years, and now, like you mentioned, joining the Lone Star. It is exciting to watch, and as these teams get more and more familiar with one another once the conference, or as the conference continues in its first season together, it'll be a lot of fun to see these teams go at it.
Eisenhower, Marquis Houston looks down, spots up for 3, shot is too strong, rebound Marcus Blackwell. He's done a good job back there. That's his 6th rebound of the game. And again, we talk about it. Mentioned it at halftime. Rattlers, when they win the rebounding battle, they've won 6 times, lost once. When they don't, they have yet to win a game. So we'll see how, again, all of this continues to meticulate here in the second half. But it's one of those deals that Oklahoma Christian, they found a way to win when trailing at halftime. They were down by 6 here in this one. As that shot is no good, another offensive rebound. That's the 11th of the game for the Eagles. 3-7 on the season as Kobe McGee bats the ball into the backcourt. Ball was deflected. Coach G trying to get an over and back call, but when there's a deflection, there's not one of those. 5 on the shot clock. Gotta hustle. Reyes Valdez tries to throw it across to his teammate. It finds the hands of Blackwell, who's open. He missed the shot, and then a foul is called on Oklahoma Christian. Will Lenhart comes over the back of Marquis Houston. It's a turnover. St. Mary's will have the ball. That'll be team foul number 5 on the visitors from Edmond, Oklahoma.
A gritty possession there. Oklahoma Christian nearly got away with one after the Rattlers defense worked tremendously hard on that possession, and St. Mary's comes away with possession.
See if the Rattlers can find their offense. They're 1 for their last 7. Eisenhower in front of his own bench, surveying what to do. St. Mary's 6 of 18 in the second half shooting, 3 of 9 from downtown. 7 on the shot clock. McGee to Lang to Eisenhower, blocked. Look out for that big fella. Lenhart with his 149th career block at Oklahoma Christian. There's a reason why you can see that out of him. He's so good.
So good, great closeout, not giving up on the play, forcing the Rattlers now into a tough situation with just 3 on the shot clock.
Yep, got to hurry, 3 seconds. Lang to inbound it, gets it quickly underneath, and that was not a pretty possession on offense, but on the other side, good job by Oklahoma Christian defensively. They forced Kobe McGee to get rid of that ball, and Awuzie is not going to use 6'8" and pull it off his shoe tops and throw it up at 1 second and make it. Not like, I'm not going to say impossible. I'm going to say not likely. I mean, maybe highly unlikely. Let's put it that way. We're still tied at 49. Both teams offensively struggling, but that's because both teams on defense are playing excellent basketball right now. We talked about the overall record for Oklahoma Christian. The 3 wins, don't look at that. If you do, you're going to get beat pretty easily, whether it's at home or on the road. Nice move inside the lane. The shot is up, no good from York Benjamin, the 6'8" product out of Tulsa. He is fouled and will head to the line for 2 shots. That's already team foul number 9, BMAC on St. Mary's.
And that could play a key role in the result of this ball game. Although Oklahoma Christian not great at the line, it gives them more opportunities to put some points on the board.
7 for 15 from the foul line. It's hard to win a lot of games regardless, but specifically on the road, that number balloons out a little bit further. 1 more coming for Benjamin, who's 10 of 13 at the line this season. Now he's 10 of 14, but an offensive rebound by Johnson. Coach Z can't believe it. I mean, when you keep having chances, eventually you're going to pull through. That's, just old hat, right? Spin move inside the lane by Blackwell. Nice finish. He creates some space, but he misses the shot. Dylan Eisenhower from his ankles trying to pick it up, and Marquis Houston is down in a lot of pain. That is not a good sign. Marquis went down, and he is hunched over, and right now just taking a minute to collect himself. And now we'll get training staff to come over and make sure Marquis is all right. And I think he just landed on his midsection a little bit hard. We'll see if he's all right. Tied up at 49 is Marquis looking, raising, making sure everything's okay. I think that was just a bad land down there, B-Mac.
And if he's out for any significant time, this would be a huge blow for the Rattlers, and it does look like an injury to his midsection. Maybe the wind might have gotten knocked out of him, especially when you're banging bodies down there, down low. It really can take a toll on yourself, and really good to see him get up and walk away from this.
Well, and I think it looked to me like he landed on his hip. Marquis is a skinny guy, so it's like you got it. That's where you say, hey, remember we talked about buffing up in the off season? There's a reason for it. So you don't, when you land on the deck like that hard and that ferociously, that you have to be very, very careful. Because I think Marquis is okay, but I think you knock yourself right there. He's gonna go run it off, and I think he's okay. He looks like he's moving around. It's just, it doesn't feel good. I mean, it's still hardwood. It's not like we're outside on the grass.
Right.
So after all is said and done, we've got 4:51 to play. It's been a good one here in San Antonio. Rattlers trying to pick up their 3rd Lone Star Conference victory. Again, the overall conference, that matters at the end of the season when seeding comes around. But if you win your pod, you would be a host. That's going to be a challenge this year because DBU is in the same division with St. Mary's, St. Ed's. How good are they? As we got a foul on the ball right there underneath on York Benjamin, who was banging heads with Emmanuel Awuzie. That's team foul number 5. But, I mean, these games will count, and they come into play, especially when you get to the conference tournament.
You mentioned the Rattlers in a tough pod. St. Ed's being one of those teams. St. Edward's one of the top teams in the country this year. So for St. Mary's, these games are doubly important, especially when it comes to postseason time.
That shot is up and in for the Rattlers. They push back ahead by 2. But we talk about it again. You look at it, I mean, it's DBU, St. Ed, St. Mary's is trying to claw in there, and Kingsville jumps out to a 10-3 start. I mean, they were 10-2 before this league weekend. I mean, so they lost as Eisenhower got a piece of that one and blocked it. And then a foul behind the play on the trail, that time by York Benjamin, trying to reach in. And, you know, that's one of his things, is that he's a talented player, but he's a reacher. And St. Mary's knows that. They're hoping they don't have to deal with that too much down the stretch. 4:06 to play, 51-49. Last bucket out there for the Rattlers by Kobe McGee. Kobe's got 14. Houston, the leading scorer, as we mentioned, with an injury went down, but Marquis is already back out there. Again, I think it's just a fall on himself that didn't feel good, sounded bad, and fortunately for him, trying to get back out there and grind it through.
And when the adrenaline is pumping, it's the best time to come out and try to shake it off.
Yeah, it's going to hurt later this afternoon, this evening. That ball out of bounds, and Awuzie can't pull it in. Be a turnover. Final media timeout in regulation. St. Mary's 51, Oklahoma Christian 49. This is Rattler basketball. Back after this timeout on the Lone Star Conference Network.
A strong tradition of academic excellence, a commitment to community, and a rich history of athletic success, the Lone Star Conference has long been known as a leader in intercollegiate athletics. Now with 19 institutions that embody the best in college sports, the Lone Star Conference is the largest and most dynamic conference in NCAA Division II. 19 members strong, 19 members proud. This is the new Lone Star Conference.
Before the storm rolls in, expect the KSAT Storm Chaser to be rolling out with our new mobile weather station. Expect live storm tracking from both our studio and the road.
Expect updates and warnings straight from the storm.
And on KSAT.com, expect our roof cam to be streaming live. Protect your family with a new level of local team coverage. Your weather authority, KSAT 12 and the Storm Chaser. Expect more.
Rattlers leading at 51-49, along with BMAC. I'm Andrew Stossmeister from Bill Greehey Arena in San Antonio, Texas, of this Lone Star tilt between the Rattlers and Eagles. St. Mary's by 2. Their lead was 6 at halftime. They've been outscored 23-19 in the second half, but with 4 minutes to go, fouls have been a problem. Rebounds currently ahead by 3 are the Eagles. And, you know, BMAC, I got a good feeling that, again, the rebounds have a chance to really decide this game, despite some of the shooting numbers we've seen. St. Mary's at 35% for the game, 42% for Oklahoma Christian.
I mean, it's in the numbers. The more opportunities you have, the better chance you have of scoring. And with how tough both teams are playing defensively, more opportunities to score will come in handy down the stretch.
Palmer Jr., the leading scorer, shoots and scores over the top of Marquis Houston. Palmer Jr.'s got 18 points, and we are tied once again at 51 apiece. 3:09 to play here in regulation. Jaron Presley with it right now. Jaron has scored a couple of times here today. He's got 4 with the ball right now. He turns the corner, looks for the floater inside. There is nobody there. And that time a turnover. Anthony Johnson, other end, lays it up and in. And the shot is good. Oklahoma Christian fans liking it. What they see, they return the favor and get the lead back with a 4 in a row.
Johnson able to capitalize on the Rattler turnover, gliding to the basket for that layup.
How about that answer by Emmanuel Awuzie at the other end? That shot is up and in, and the Rattlers starting to create some opportunities in the second chance column. But Emmanuel hard to the cup that time. Will get a chance at the bonus and a chance to get the lead right back to St. Mary's.
Emmanuel has had a fantastic game thus far, able to hit that basket, a huge one, and this free throw just as important.
Emmanuel missed it. Rebound, Palmer Jr. Eagles have it. 2:34 to play. We have continued to seesaw back and forth in this game, especially in the second half. Rattlers went by 6. They have led in this one by as many as 8. Oklahoma Christian, their first lead in the last 5 minutes of half number 2. Went up by a couple, but the Rattlers have responded. Lenhart with it, working one-on-one. Finds Blackwell, his open teammate for 2. No good. Rebound, Emmanuel Awuzie. 30th rebound of the game for St. Mary's. 2 minutes to go in San Antonio. Do the Rattlers pick up their 7th win, or does Oklahoma Christian get their first road win in league play? Caleb Jordan, stutter step down the lane, hooks it up and in for 2 points. Caleb Jordan's 2nd field goal of the game. He's got 10.
Jordan scoring when you need it the most, able to get to the lane and going to his favorite floater, able to get it over the defender there.
Guys talk about it. How much can you really come to play with the game on the line? Reyes Valdez, honestly quiet in the second half. He's got 9 points. He had 7 in the first 20 minutes. Find underneath and a foul by Emmanuel Awuzie. Hard foul on Dadrian Parmer. And you know, if you look at it for St. Mary's, you got beat there, but you make Oklahoma Christian earn it at the line where they're just 7 for 16 here today.
Not necessarily the worst thing in the world. We're already down to 120, so foul trouble. The Rattlers have been able to maneuver around it for the most part, make Oklahoma Christian earn it at the line.
Somewhat odd, you know, the Rattlers have struggled from the foul line coming into 2020. They were last. Right now they're facing an Oklahoma Christian team who's just a couple of spots ahead of them. They've struggled, but they get one. 1-point game, 80 seconds to play here in the second half. Parmer Jr., his season high is 28 points. He had that in the 5th game of the season. He's on the cusp of 20. Second toss is good. Big hits for him. He's 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Timeout on the court. 1:20 to play here in the second half. All tied up at 55. We're back after this timeout on the Lone Star Conference Network.
We've been around for a while, and we know how to build a fresher pizza. A real pizza, one made with real fresh and real flavor. A pizza made with different toppings and the unique taste from our culture. And of course, a commitment to better, fresher dough and ingredients. We built a pizza culture where you can fill up on flavor without emptying your wallet.
1:15 to play here in the second half. 55 all, Rattlers and Oklahoma Christian. Caleb Jordan with it. Marquis Houston holding it on to the left side. Kobe McGee with it. Rattlers, important possession right here. You get a bucket and a stop. You're in position in the final minute. Marquis Houston drives. Presley's open. 3-pointers up too strong. And a rebound to Will Lenhart. Big stop right there by Oklahoma Christian. Lenhart looks like he's really rediscovered his game. And again, injuries slowing things down. But right now, Oklahoma Christian, they have a chance right here. Can they steal one on the road? Trying to get 1 of 2 on their trip, but it's knocked away. Presley's got it. Jaron will push. Down court, he leads, and the shot is blocked. Anthony Johnson grabbed it, but hit the baseline out of bounds off to our right side, and the Rattlers will keep it with 27.5 seconds. We'll stay here this time, B-Mac. Big play on defense.
What a play by Johnson, not giving up on the play. Presley looked like he had an easy layup, but Johnson just elevating a bit higher to get to that ball and block it out of bounds. Nearly knocked it off of Presley to force a turnover, but instead the Rattlers will have the ball. 2.5 second differential between the game and shot clock. I would like to see St. Mary's take the time all the way down, try to get the last shot, because worst case scenario, you miss and you force Oklahoma Christian to make a basket with only 2.5 seconds, maybe even less, to win the game. Worst case, you go into overtime.
Oklahoma Christian has never won here at Bill Greehey Arena. And you can tell they've played really well again. And I think this is the mix of a team that has some veteran experience. You got some transfers that are in here. And now you sit and say, okay, there have been 7 ties, 4 lead changes, 3 lead changes here in the last 5 minutes. What do you do if you're Oklahoma Christian with your defense? You say you're one of the top teams in the country on defense. They're 38th in the NCAA coming in, giving up 67 points a game. Rattlers average 77. They're not getting there. In fact, the Rattlers have scored 3 points in the last 6 minutes. That's it.
It's really been a defensive standstill between these two teams.
Well, and I'll tell you, the Rattlers, great practice for this on Thursday. Little different. They were down 2 points in the final 6.5 seconds. They did not score. They lost the game. What do they do right here? Kobe McGee will inbound it. Very deep to Caleb Jordan. Good awareness by Kobe. See if St. Mary's can slow it down. Again, 2.5 second differential game clock and shot clock. Jordan picked up by Reyes Valdez. 17 fouls committed by Oklahoma Christian. They put the Rattlers on the line. 12 seconds. McGee being patient. Much more patient than the other night. Here he runs, 2 to shoot. Presley, 1, leans in. The shot is up. It is no good. Oklahoma Christian has it, and we are heading to overtime. 55 all. Rattlers will play overtime for the 2nd time this season, as will the Eagles. Both teams, have won. These 2 teams played overtime back in 2017 here at Bill Greehey, in which the St. Mary's Rattlers won. What a game.
Entertaining game. That's the look you wanted. That's as good of a look as you could get. Presley, the freshman, not shy of the moment. The ball just hanging on the rim and unable to fall through, and we get more basketball.
Well, like you said, great shake by Jaron, because he drives in there, finds himself, I think, a little bit surprised that he was as open as he was. But, I mean, that's a 5-footer that's contested but makeable. I mean, that's a great job executing by St. Mary's, just not quite finishing. At the same time, pretty good defense by Oklahoma Christian. You knew they'd come out. They blocked Jaron just a few possessions before that. It's good confidence, like you said, for the young man.
Great defensive possession for Oklahoma Christian. That zone defense working its wonders, and has been a tough puzzle for the Rattlers to solve. St. Mary's on the season averaging over 70 points per game. Game tied at 55. It's been a knock 'em out, drag 'em out type game, and St. Mary's will look to bounce back in this extra period and maybe find some better possessions, because the way they closed out that second half, not as crisp as they were midway through this ball game.
Oklahoma Christian outscores St. Mary's 29-23 in that second half officially. You know, we talked about it. Eagles, again, despite being 3-7, this is their 11th game that will be on the record for them. 7 of them have been decided by 10 points or fewer. They are 1-1 in games 5 points or less. Rattlers are 2-0. Overtime victories already for both teams. Oklahoma Christian starts with the basketball first, put 5 minutes on the clock. Reyes Valdez gives it off to Lenhart. Back to the point guard. Reyes Valdez inside, shot is up, and it's altered by Dylan Eisenhower. Houston's on the deck, and he has the first rebound of overtime for St. Mary's. Caleb Jordan to the other end. Houston, the game high scorer with 20, but he shares that with Dadrian Palmer Jr., who has 20 for Oklahoma Christian. Both teams coming in with losses. On Thursday night, St. Mary's lost to Fort Smith. Oklahoma Christian lost in Austin to St. Ed's. Awuzie, right block, lays it up in the left hand, missed the shot, and a bad fall by Dadrian Palmer Jr., who has the board. Got pulled from behind, I think, by Eisenhower. That'll be a foul. Again, the fouls do carry over into overtime. That's the 10th on St. Mary's, so it'll be 2 shots automatically at the other end.
And for St. Mary's, not necessarily the worst thing in the world. Make Oklahoma Christian earn each of their points whenever they head to the line. And Eisenhower gets called for the personal there, but if Oklahoma Christian's going to pull this off, they're going to have to start hitting free throws.
9 for 18 here in the basketball game. First toss is up, and it is no good. I'll tell you, Palmer Jr. landed hard on his left wrist. He's a right-hander. He's squeezing it right now, trying to get some blood flow into it because he knows it hurts. Body's already responded saying, yeah, that's not a good feeling at all. One more at the stripe. Palmer Jr. ready. Shot is good. Eagles by 1 in overtime. 4:17 to play here in San Antonio. We're at Bill Greehey Arena. Andrew Stossmeister along with BMAC here this afternoon. Women won earlier for St. Mary's. Rattlers trying to follow suit. Both teams have not won at home together on the same day. It's ironic to believe, with as good as St. Mary's and their programs have been over the years, that they haven't been able to get one, and it's January 4th.
It's been long overdue for sure, especially with such great teams in the past we've seen from both the men's and women's programs.
Emmanuel Lewusier was fouled. It was the 4th foul committed by Marcus Blackwell. It is 1-and-1 at the line. Rattlers are 7 of 11. Emmanuel's first trip, he's 5 for 12 this season. He missed the shot, but an offensive rebound. Dylan Eisenhower wins a 50-50 ball. He gets the ball right back. He fires a 3 and didn't get much on it. Might have been blocked. Anthony Johnson with real good defense.
Johnson not giving up on the play, showing the hustle Eisenhower did on that rebound.
Oklahoma Christian by a point inside the lane. Palmer Jr. again is fouled. As you look at it, St. Mary's almost kind of expecting, well, hey, when they're on offense, they have to be patient. They kind of look like they're expecting Oklahoma Christian to be patient. They're not. Instead, they're getting the ball inside to Palmer Jr. or Lenhart, and they're saying, go get it.
And this is the stage of the ball game, overtime. You don't have much time to mess around with. Go out and be aggressive, and Oklahoma Christian, the aggressors thus far in this overtime period.
Yeah, first minute and 14 seconds of the 5-minute overtime period. Lenhart will head back to the other end. Not have to jog that one out. Lamont Traylor comes in at the free throw if it's good. Second toss is good. So Lamont will come in for Emmanuel Lewusier. 3-point advantage for Oklahoma Christian. Rattlers had a free throw attempt on their last offensive possession. They did not score. St. Mary's led at halftime by 6. Had a chance to win it at the end of regulation. Missed a 5-footer, well contested. Jaron Presley couldn't quite put it through. Caleb Jordan holding on to it. He's one of 3 players in double figures for St. Mary's. Eisenhower open, doesn't like his look. Instead, it's Caleb Jordan, the floating one-hander off the backboard and in. And the Rattlers get their first 2 of overtime. They're down 1.
Caleb Jordan once again going to that floater, able to get the friendly roll off the front iron, and a big basket there. The Rattlers off to a slow start in overtime, but got that elusive first bucket.
58-57, we expected a low-scoring game. With the talent that Oklahoma Christian brings defensively, a lot of steps in there for Palmer Jr., but another strong move by the junior out of Oklahoma City. He has really stepped in and played well here today in his first season with the Eagles.
Palmer Jr. has been the go-to guy in this overtime period. Once again at the line. Good to see him at the line after suffering that fall moments ago.
70% free throw shooter on the season. He is now 10 for 13. I'll tell you what, you take his shots out there. There haven't been nearly as many, but the rest of the team is just 3 of 10. He's still doing a pretty good job there.
He's the guy you want at the line if you're Oklahoma Christian.
He makes both. That's 5 in overtime for St. Mary's. Palmer Jr. has all of them. 60-57, 2:55 to play in overtime number 1. Kobe McGee back to Caleb Jordan, working on that 2-3 zone defense. Caleb Jordan with it, looking for that entry. They can't get it to the free throw line. They've moved Marquis back out. Lamont Traylor's got it. Baseline drive, and he stepped out of bounds. Good defense, and again, that's an awareness thing that St. Mary's has kind of gotten away from just a little bit when they've tried to get to the baseline. Oklahoma Christian's defense has been so good, they've tried to run around it. Because of that, they've run out of bounds.
And the Rattlers, more or less, not necessarily patience, but a lot of tentativeness as they're able to force the timeout called because of their press. But Rattlers offensively, a lot of tentativeness and not decisive in their ball movement. And as you can see, they're trailing by 3.
Be a 30-second timeout, so we'll go ahead and stay here at 60-57. Rattlers led today by Marquis Houston, who's got 20. Kobe McGee's got 14. Caleb Jordan has 12 on the other side. Dadrian Palmer Jr., 25 points. Reyes has 9. Lenhart has 9 points and 9 rebounds. Palmer Jr., by the way, at 9 rebounds as well. And I talked about it earlier. I thought, hey, rebounds are going to decide this one. +4 right now to Oklahoma Christian. They also have collected 12 offensive rebounds. St. Mary's with 14 of them, but you start looking up, BMAC. I mean, it's got to be stops. You're gonna need some points, but You probably need 5 stops to win this game.
5 stops, maybe even more if St. Mary's can't find a way to score. They'll need to get some more opportunities as well. But
Rattlers are going to use that full court press. They forced one turnover or one timeout. That ball goes out of bounds and it stays with Oklahoma Christian. Ball never got in, so you don't lose anything, but a near 5-second call. Rattlers, I think, again, felt like they found something to start this decade on Thursday night, despite losing with their defense. High lob comes in. That's a good way to throw it to the 6'8" guy and say, please go get it for me. And Lenhart's got it. Possession will start with Reyes Valdez. 60-57. Oklahoma Christian looking for their first road victory of conference play. They won very early on against Southwestern Oklahoma State University back in November, early side, but that's Weatherford's much closer. Reyes Valdez with 2 underneath, wide open. Palmer Jr. scores. How does 5 get loose like that to provide a 5-point lead?
What a find by Reyes Valdez, and who else? Palmer Jr. able to find the bucket once again. He's got 27 and a huge bucket for the Eagles.
Dylan Eisenhower with it. Back to Kobe McGee, not looking for that 3. Rattlers have shown good patience, maybe a little too much as Eisenhower, no-look pass, turnover. Bad time for the 12th one of those. That's the second of overtime. Rattlers now need a couple stops and maybe a miss on one side for Oklahoma Christian. And if you're St. Mary's, you can't let 5 beat you. Instead, it's Anthony Johnson. Big move right there. And it's a 9-2 spurt for Oklahoma Christian. That's 6 in a row here in overtime, 80 seconds to go.
Anthony Johnson able to get to the hoop, and another back-breaking basket.
Caleb Jordan bumped on his way down the lane, and he loses the ball out of bounds. Turnover. St. Mary's has 2 timeouts. Do they use one right here? Not being shown yet from Coach Z, but tell you what, for a team that's not won here in the previous 6 tries, they're giving it everything they have. They've made some free throws, and Palmer Jr. has been big for them. Rattlers trying to press. Ball across midcourt from Blackwell, and stopped on the Buddy and Annemeyer court logo. 1 minute to play in overtime. 64-57 Eagles. Baseline pass to Lenhart. He backs it away. Good pass and a wise one for the Eagles forward. Down the lane, a drop off to the left-hander, and maybe the nail on the coffin from Will Lenhart as he scores and makes it a 9-point game with 48.4 seconds to play here in overtime.
On back-to-back possessions, that backdoor pass has been there, and Oklahoma Christian taking full advantage of it. Lenhart looking to finish off the 3-point play, and it would make this a 10-point game.
Rattlers in overtime are 1 for 3, but 3 turnovers. Other side, 3 of 4, as look at that, Lenhart knocks in the extra one. 10-point game, 67-57. Eagles on the cusp. Caleb Jordan, hand in his face for 2, too strong, missed the shot, gets it back. Jordan back to Houston on the left wing for 3, and it's good. And here comes a timeout from Coach Z. Marquis Houston had to have that one. Houston with 23 points. He had a big first half, but slowed down as this game has gone along. And for him, the last 25 minutes, he's only got 9 points, and that's part of it, that 3 right there.
Marquis Houston has been a catalyst for the Rattlers in this ball game, but has been quiet. Partially after that injury he suffered late in the second half. It looks like he's been moving a little gingerly, but like you mentioned, big 3-pointer there, cutting this lead down to 7. Anything can happen. You got 35 seconds left. Rattlers just need a few stops and need to capitalize on their opportunities.
No fouls to give. They're in the double bonus right now. Again, Matei Gaspert fouled out with 11.5 minutes to play. Had a tough go today in 15 minutes. Did not score at 3 rebounds. But maybe that shooting number creeping back in for St. Mary's. You know, second straight game that St. Mary's has had the game in their cusp and not quite there to get it. This one's not over yet, but here comes the baseball pass to the big fella Lenhart, who grabs it. He doesn't need to shoot. And St. Mary's wisely fouling number 25 in black, who will head to the line for 2 shots. Lenhart, 12 points and 9 rebounds. He has not had 10 rebounds or more yet this season. I mean, this is a guy that, again, has led Division II basketball each of the last 2 years in rebounding. Came back to Oklahoma City after spending his first 2 years in Stillwater, playing for the Cowboys. Didn't play a lot there, had a coaching change and said forget it. Ultimately left, but he makes that free throw to make it an 8-point game with 33.9 seconds to play.
And if you're Oklahoma Christian, just go to the line and try to salt this one away.
Rattlers need threes now. Kobe McGee, hand in the face off the left wing, rims it up and out, nearly had it. Lenhart the rebound, and Oklahoma Christian is free. Will they go for the dunk? You betcha. One-handed slam by Anthony Johnson. That was impressive for the Jackson, Mississippi native. And an exclamation point on this game. All 4 threes as Marquis Houston, not giving up, blocks that ball away out of bounds. But plain and simple, BMAC, Oklahoma Christian has outscored St. Mary's 15-5 in overtime. They've hit 4 of their 5 shots, 0 turnovers. St. Mary's has 3.
Oklahoma Christian came out to play in overtime, and you could see the momentum shifting in their favor when the Rattlers were unable to get the game-winning basket on that final possession of regulation.
Final shot for St. Mary's on that miss as Reyes Valdez, looking up at the clock, will drop the basketball off as he limps just a little bit, but big win for Oklahoma Christian. A well-deserved 4th victory of the season. They improved to 3-4 on the season. St. Mary's falls below 500. They're now 6-7, 2-5 in Lone Star Conference action. Rattlers go on the road next week. They'll be at Cameron on Thursday, Midwestern on Saturday, and then back at home on the 16th of January. We'll have those games for you, as always, back here at Bill Greehey Arena. Your final in overtime. Oklahoma Christian defeats St. Mary's 70-60. Big thanks again to BMAC along for being with myself. I'm Andrew Stossmeister on behalf of our entire crew. Thanks so much for joining us from San Antonio as the Eagles defeat St. Mary's 70-60. This has been a production of Rattler Athletics on the Lone Star Conference Network.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder.